I just want to talk to my young friends a moment about stir up the gift. Stir up the gift. This book is written to young Timothy, Paul's mentee and understudy. He is in reception of this letter from Paul, who is in prison in Rome. This letter is sent to Timothy to encourage him because Paul knows of the faith that is in him because it was in his grandmother. It was in his mother. It was in Lois and Eunice. And Paul writes this letter, the last of his epistles, the last letter he has ever written, because Demas has forsaken him. Only Luke is with him. And he encourages Timothy to come before winter and stop in Troas and get my books, bring my parchments. This is the last letter of Paul, his pastoral epistles written to 1st and 2nd Timothy and Titus. Those letters are written to encourage young pastors, and 2nd Timothy is written because Paul has a date with death from the Emperor Nero. The outline and theme of this letter is pastoral in its appeal. It is practical in its appeal. It is also prophetic and personal because he says to Timothy, let no man despise your youth. Let no one criticize you or put you aside or look askance at you because you are young. Let no man despise your youth. You've heard me say this over and over to us, that the only old people who don't like young people is old people who didn't have fun when they were young people. Don't let these old people fool you and make you believe that they've never sinned and they've never done anything wrong and they've never lied and they've never colored outside the line. Every one of us in here, if God would uncover us, would be seen for who and what we really are. Young man, don't let these old men despise your youth. Don't let them criticize you for being young, because every old man in here used to be a young man. And young man, there's an old man in you trying to get out. You old women in here, when I say old, I get a whole lot of emails when I say that from you, and you know, because women talking about ain't nothing get old but clothes. People get old. Talk back to me if you can. If you're looking for your car keys and they're in your hand, that's a pretty good sign that you're getting old. You're looking for your eyeglasses and you got them on. You're looking for your cell phone and you're talking on it. Time is filled with swift transition. Don't criticize these young girls because their dress swings from side to side. Yours used to twist like that, but now it's going from back to front. That's all right. God let you live to be 75 and 80 and 90 years old. Thank God for these days. I want to encourage these young people, stir up the gift that God put in you, because God put it in you. And Paul said, I know it's there because you got it from your grandmother. You got it from your mother, Eunice. God has not given us a spirit of fear, but a spirit of power and of love and a sound mind. All of us here, if we would be honest, deal from time to time with some real fears. We fear that our health will break. We fear that we will live longer than our money. We fear that our children will not turn out the way we planned. We fear that because of what's going on in the world, it's dangerous to travel. We fear sending our children to school because we don't know what's going to happen on the campus. Some fears are real and some fears are unreal, but they are fears nevertheless. Some people have what's called acrophobia. That's the fear of heights. Other people, like myself, have claustrophobia, a fear of being in closed places. And then there are others with agoraphobia. That's fear of open spaces. Some persons have, like myself, neophobia. That's a fear of trying new things. I don't like new friends. I don't like new food. When I go to the restaurant where I eat on Sunday, I don't need a menu. They already know what I want because I don't try nothing new. And I tell the waiter, you don't have to tell me what's your special. I know what I want. I don't try anything new. I don't like new things. Then there's pathophobia. That's a fear of disease. Photophobia. Some people have a fear of light. There are many people in my family and in my community who have ergophobia. That's a fear of going to work. There's a whole lot I can say right there, but let me move on. Then there's glossophobia. Glossophobia is a fear of public speaking. You stand up and your brain sits down. Some great men in antiquity had fears. Julius Caesar feared the sound of thunder. Peter the Great had a fear of crossing over a bridge. Alexander the Great, who died in his 30s, had a fear that he would never conquer the whole world. All of us struggle with some fears, realized fears and fears that will never be realized, but they are fears nevertheless. But God, when he saves us, has not given us the spirit of fear. Psalm 27 says, the Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? Come on, you can help me preach it. When the wicked, even my enemies and my foes, came upon me to eat up my flesh, they stumbled and they fell. Though a host should encamp against me, in this will I be confident. One thing have I desired of the Lord, and that will I seek after, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all my days, for in the time of trouble he shall hide me. The Lord is my shepherd. I wish I had a Bible reader. I shall not want. He makes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the very shadow of death, here it is, I will fear no evil. God is with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil so that my cup is just running over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days. Fret not yourself because of evildoers, neither be envious against the workers of iniquity. They shall soon be cut off like grass, and they shall wither like the green herb. God will fight your battle. God will make your enemies your footstool. God will be your shade on your right hand, so that the sun will not smite you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord will preserve your soul. The Lord will keep you from all evil. He'll preserve your going out and your coming in. I will keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed. God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and a sound mind. Here it is. God gives you power. 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 The person who kneels before God can stand before any man. Somebody should have shouted right there. When you kneel before God, you ain't scared of nobody. God gives you a spirit of power, so even bullies got to get out of your way. Young people, let me give you some advice that my daddy gave me. When I was getting ready to go to Bishop College and I was getting out of high school, I was always kind of timid and afraid. You know, I didn't speak much. I didn't talk to hardly anybody except in my family. And so when I started to preach, people in the community couldn't understand, how is he going to preach? He never talks. I would never talk to anybody inside my family. Except my family, and I was kind of timid and shy because I was always socially awkward, and I did not stand up for myself and didn't stand up to anybody. And so my daddy and mother was taking me to the airport to get ready to go to Bishop College, and my daddy gave me some advice that only a father can give a son. He says, if you run across a bully, if you run across somebody who's trying to scare you, frighten you, intimidate you, he said, if it's a crowd and it's a bully in the crowd and they are trying to push you around, he said, you walk up to the loudest one in the crowd and hit him as hard as you can, and everybody else in the crowd is going to shut up and sit down. Because a bully is really insecure, and they are trying to intimidate you so they can make themselves feel big. But if you are big on the inside, you don't have to try to make nobody believe that you're big on the outside. Just be big. Talk back to me if you can. People who are intimidating other people are people who are not sure of themselves. But when you are sure of yourself, God gives you power to walk in any room and hold your own, because you know who you are and whose you are. If God be for us, somebody ought to help me preach today. If God is on your side, he's more than the world against you. Stop letting small people intimidate you. If you kneel before God, you can stand before anybody. That's power. Power is strength under control. It's strength under control. God can tear it up if he feels like it. But because of his love and his grace, he brings his power under control. A good example of that is a few years ago when there was an earthquake that caused a tidal wave in Thailand. Over 200,000 people died in that tidal wave in Thailand. And the earthquake was so severe that the bottom of the ocean came apart and pushed water onto Thailand, and it pushed water all the way to San Francisco. And when the waters from that tidal wave from Thailand, 5,000 miles, traveled and just licked the coast of California, it didn't destroy anything in San Francisco. It just kind of brushed against the coast. That was God saying, I can come get you if I want to. You went to bed last night and woke up this morning because God wanted you to. Your alarm clock didn't wake you up. Your burglar bars didn't keep you safe. All night, all day, God got angels assigned to you to keep you from going all the way to destruction. And if it had not been, I wish I had a witness. If it had not been for the Lord who was on your side when you were in your teen years, you wouldn't have made it to your 30s. All the dope you smoked, all the clubbing you did, all the drinking you carried on, and God let you live to be 65 years old, you ought to be shouting right now. Thank you for grace. Thank you for mercy. Thank you that you didn't uncover me in my sinful. I should have been dead. Sleeping in my grave. And let me tell somebody who never smoked dope, or you've never been to jail, or you've never had an abortion, salvation is not always what God brought you from. Most of the time is what God kept you from. You could have been a fool. You could have been in jail. You could have been an addict, but God kept you from it. That's salvation. Not because you've been so holy. You just didn't get caught. Here it is. He looked beyond my faults. Have I got a witness? He looked beyond my foolishness. He looked beyond my wickedness and gave me another chance. That's power. But then, not only does God give power, God has given us a spirit of love. Perfect love casts out fear. That's what the Bible says. Perfect love casts out fear. But I want to encourage you to look up that verse in the Living Bible. The Living Bible is not a good translation. It's a paraphrase of the Bible. So I do not encourage it for you to get translation. It's just a good paraphrase of the Bible. Here is how the Living Bible paraphrases perfect love casts out fear. The Living Bible says, where we have no fear of someone who loves us perfectly. Perfect love casts out fear. We have no fear of someone who loves us perfectly. I don't fear God like I fear a rattlesnake or like I fear a hurricane or like I fear an earthquake. My fear of God is reverence. Awe. When I hear thunder, I'm awed at the sound of that. When I see a rainbow, I'm awed at the sound of that. I felt God's presence in a way that I've never felt it before on the floor of the Grand Canyon. Because nobody but God could have carved that just with his finger. I wish I had somebody to help me. Oh Lord, my God, when I, in awesome wonder, consider all the worlds your hands have made. These astronauts who went to the dark side of the moon the other day, and they came back and they couldn't even speak of it because it was so awe-inspiring. They tried to ask them to describe it, and they had no words to describe it. But God went further than the dark side of the moon. Before there was a when or a where, a was or a will be, God said, let there be light, and light is still being. I wish I had one or two more believers here. The universe is still being created because God just said one word, let there be. And so I don't ever refer to God as the man upstairs. That's too common. That's too ordinary. I wouldn't go to sleep tonight if there was a man upstairs. I don't need a man upstairs. I need somebody to rock me when I'm weary. I need somebody who can comfort me when I'm lonely. I need somebody who can give me strength when I'm weak. I need somebody who can cheer me when life is flat. I need one or two more witnesses who can help me testify when life failed you. God was right there. And his love helped you to sing when you had nothing to sing about. His love helped you to clap when you had nothing to clap about. His love helped you to get up in the morning and go on about your day. You still had some problems, but you gave God glory anyway. You still had some aches and pains, but you thank God nevertheless. Everything was not going your way, but God's been so good in the past that if he did it before, he can do it again. Encourage these young people that life might turn on you in the future. But let me tell you something. I've seen the lightning flash. I've heard the thunder roll. I felt sin's breakers dashing, trying to conquer my soul. But I heard the voice of Jesus bidding me still fight on. He promised. I said he promised never to leave me, never to leave me alone. God will give you a sound mind. Young people, listen to me as I hurry. Life has two handles that you can hold on to. You can hold on to fear and let it cripple you, and you'll never get anything accomplished in life because you are afraid to fail. You're afraid to be laughed at. You're afraid to be the odd person out. You are afraid that people will criticize you because you speak well and you dress well. You are afraid that people will not like you because you don't fit into their social circles. That's a handle that you grab, that's fear, but fear will paralyze you. And it'll keep you from grasping God's best. But there's another handle you can hold on to. That handle is faith. Faith says, I may not have it in my hand, but I believe God can do it. Faith says, you're talking about me behind my back, but I'm pressing toward the mark for the prize of the high calling. Faith says, I don't look like much right now, but you ought to see me when God gets through with me. Faith says, I'm having a hard time today, but I believe tomorrow is going to be a better day. I need some faithful people in here who can help me testify like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They said, "Oh King, we're not careful to answer you in this matter because the God we serve is able, and he will deliver us out of your hands. But if not, we are still not going to bow." The king heated the furnace 7 times hotter than it was normally heated and threw Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego into the midst of a burning fiery furnace, sat down on his throne, and thought that they had been incinerated. The men who threw them in burned immediately because the fire was so hot. King sat down on his throne, and after a while he said, "Didn't we throw 3 men bound in the fire?" They said, "Yes, O king." He said, "Well, I see 4 men loose walking around in the fire, and the 4th one looks like the Son of God." I'm just come to tell you, young people, God will get in the fiery furnace with you. God will get in your Philippian jail with you. God will get in your lion's den with you. Whatever trouble you're going through, somebody here who's been through some trouble can help me testify God will see you through. I said God will see you through. God will bring you out on the other side. Because look at what happened to Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. The king said, "Bring them out of the fire." And when they came out of the fire, the Bible says they didn't even smell like smoke because they were in the fire, but the fire never got a chance to get on them because the fire was already in them. And when the fire is in you, it doesn't bother you when the fire is on you. I need a witness in here this morning who's been through a fiery furnace and God brought you out on the other side. You've been through some situations in your life that you almost lost your sanity. But now that you're on the other side of it, your testimony is, can't nobody do me like Jesus. Can't nobody do me like the Lord. If the Lord ever brought you through, come on, let's encourage these young people. If the Lord ever forgave your foolishness, let's be a witness to these young people. If the Lord ever put food on your table, paid your bills for you, made a way out of no way, you got a job that you shouldn't have had, you are much further than you used to be. When you look back over your life, your soul don't have to wonder how you got over. You already know it was nobody but Jesus. If you know him and you're not ashamed to testify, if he kept you, if he's been a mother for you, if he's been a doctor for you, if he's made a way out of no way, if he brought you when you couldn't see your way, if he kept you when you almost lost your mind, if he's been a friend when you were friendless, bread when you were hungry, water when you were thirsty, a doctor in a sick room, a lawyer in a courtroom, a rock in a weary land, a shelter in a time of storm, a friend when you're friendless. Is there anybody here who knows who I'm talking about? He's Adam's redeemer, Abel's vindicator,
Abraham's sacrifice. He's Noah's ark. I haven't even called his name yet, and you're about to run all over this church. He's God's only son, Mary's baby boy. He's a rock of ages, the desire of all nations, a lily of the valley, a bright and a morning star. I'm about to call his name in a minute, and some of y'all about to run all over the place. He kept me all night last night. He drove with me on the highway when my enemy set a trap for me. He showed me where the ditch was. I was able to go all around it. That's why I shout so much. That's why I praise so much, because I know what he's done for me. You don't mind if I call his name, do you? You don't mind if I talk about him, do you? His name is Jesus, the righteous Son of God. Jesus, Mary's baby. Jesus, one Friday on a hill called Calvary. He died. Didn't he die? But Sunday morning, he got up from the grave. If he kept you, why don't you grab somebody? Tell them I don't look like what I've been through. I don't look like what I've been through. God kept me. 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 I know he's all right. With me. He talks with me. Has he ever come in your room? Has he ever come in your house? Made you laugh when nothing was funny? Made you cry when nothing was bothering you? Shake somebody's hand. Tell him he's real. He's real. He's real. He's real, 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 real. Real, real. I know he's all right. He's all right. He's a way maker. He's a burden bearer. He's a problem solver. He's a friend in trouble. He's bread on your table, joy in your heart. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it. If you got real joy, if you got real joy, why don't you show some signs? If God's been good to you, why don't you shout like it? If God has kept you, why don't you praise like it? If God has held you, why don't you holler like it? the gift. Stir up the gift. Stir up the gift. If God kept you, stir up the gift. If God saved you, stir up the gift. If God made a way for you, stir up the gift. Hey! When I think about Jesus, all he's done for me, think about Jesus, how he set me free. When I think about Jesus, what he's done for me, Jesus, how he set me free. Stir up the gift. Stir up the gift. Salvation is a gift. Stir up. God has not given you a spirit of fear, but a spirit of power, love, and a sound mind. And that word sound minds mean you know how to control yourself. A sound mind means every insult don't have to be answered. A sound mind means you don't have to be a fool because you're around some fools. A sound mind means that every argument ain't worth chasing. You just keep yourself with a sound mind and watch God handle your enemies. Watch God handle the opposition in your life. Young people, the world will get out of your way if you know where you're going. And if you know where you're going, God will help you get there. But you got to put your trust in God. Lean not on your own understanding. Don't trust your judgment. You just got here night before last. You don't know anything. Listen to somebody who's been on the road and who's made some mistakes. And if they will tell you the truth, they'll let you know where the pitfalls are, that you don't have to go that way. Some of you were raised like I was raised. I had parents who didn't mind whipping. You know, we didn't have no time out and all that. If you act a fool at the grocery store, my mama would dive off the frozen food section right there in the grocery store. But because I was so timid, I saw what a whipping did to the others. So I knew not to go that way. My sister Gwen, today would have been her 69th birthday. Gwen has gone to be with the Lord, but Gwen would always murmur and mumble under her breath. And my mama had ears outside. Gwen would murmur something under her breath, and my mama would be outside. She'd say, "What you say?"
She said, nothing. She said, that's what I thought. Bring your, you know what she said, you know. And I saw what that did to Gwen. So I